Since 2014, 30 vehicles have been added to the National Historical Vehicle Registry and program created in partnership with the U.S. Department of Interior and Library of Congress to celebrate the catalog of the world's most significant automobiles. Joining me today is Diane Parker, Vice President of Hagerty Drivers Foundation, and Jonathan Klinger, Executive Directors of Hagerty Drivers Foundation, letting us know about this great event that's happening out there on the Capitol, which is so cool because it's cool cars on the Capitol. I'm excited because I'm a Chrysler baby, you can say, with it running in my family. But let's talk about the famous car that's behind you two. That is beautiful.
Yeah, so behind us here is a 1952 Hudson Hornet, and it is not just any 1950s American car. This is the car that dominated early NASCAR, that made stock car racing become as popular as we now know it today. But I would say even more importantly for the younger generations, they know this as the car that inspired the character Doc Hudson in the movie Cars.
Oh my goodness, it's so cool. We're looking at the pictures. I love it. Let's talk about what is the National Historical Registry.
So the National Historic Vehicle Registry is a program that we started in 2014, as you said, and it's so that we can celebrate, preserve, and document our culturally significant and historically significant cars. It's very similar to the Register of Historic Places, so where we've documented things like the Golden Gate Bridge or the Statue of Liberty, we do the same exact thing for vehicles, which had not been done prior to 2014. So we recognize that gap and we're trying to fill it.
So, oh man, this is so cool. So what cars are we going to be seeing this year being registered and, of course, honored?
Yeah, so in addition to the fabulous Hudson Hornet, we're also going to be adding a Chrysler Turbine Car, which is an experimental program from the early 1960s that Chrysler conducted to test some pretty futuristic styled cars with alternative powertrains, and in this case with gas turbine engines, or some people like to say a jet turbine engine.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I get to say my grandfather worked on this car when he worked at Chrysler, and it's so amazing to see this going on. Let's talk about the foundation and what you do and the importance of the mission that you have.
Well, in addition to wanting to ensure that for future generations we save this history in perpetuity within the Library of Congress, we also want to make sure that there aren't any financial barriers, and so kids can apply for what we call License to the Future, and that's so that they can get the driver's education training that they need.
Love it. Diane and Jonathan, I hate to put you on the spot. It's not one of the questions on my list, but I have to ask you, because you guys have been around these famous cars, what has been your favorite to see get registered so far?
All right, so this is truly like asking, you know, which one is your favorite child, but I will tell you, it's really the human interest story behind the horsepower that really grips me about all of this, and so many of us. And so we have a 1966 Volkswagen microbus, the Esau and Janie B. Jenkins bus, and so that civil rights story and what they did is absolutely amazing. And so I would have to say that that's probably in my top right there.
So for mine, yeah, and so for mine, we had, and this was a recent one, just an amazing family story that we were able to bring back to life is what's known as the Black Ghost. So a 1970 Challenger, I'm sorry, that was, it was drag raced in Detroit back in the day, but it just kind of had this mysterious aura around it. Most people didn't know who owned it. It just came out, dominated the streets at night, and then went away. And then it kind of was off of people's radar for decades, but we were able to bring that story to life. In the second and third generation of the original owner, they're continuing that on, and it's just such a really cool story, and there's an amazing video you can watch that tells a story about the Black Ghost.
I love it, and that's what this is all about. It's about the car, the history, and the story behind it of who owned it, who didn't, and that's why it's so important for this great collaboration and for people to check out cool cars on the Capitol. Where can they find more information?
So you can get more information at you can get more information at driversfoundation.org. And that's where you can also apply for License to the Future. And to watch those videos that we were just talking about, you can go to our YouTube channel for the Hagerty Drivers Foundation and see some of the documentaries that we've done.
I love it. Thank you two for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.